We have to get back to nature. The more healthy and natural products we eat, the healthier we become. Hello, this is Terry Bell with another edition of Herb Doc. Hello, this is Terry Bell with another episode of Herb Doc. Today with me, I've got a special guest. Her name is Mary-Clara. I had to think about that. She's actually a cousin of mine too, and she's very good at reflexology. She's going to explain what is reflexology. I know I had somebody on before, but he wasn't really into it like she is it. And she loves it, and you can tell because she cares about the person. It's an amazing art, and she's going to explain about it. Today here, thank you, and I'm just introducing Mary-Clara. Thank you for being on my show.
Thanks for having me.
And it's amazing. The first time I had you do my feet, because I was even in a tough man contest, and I could take a beating, but I jumped and howled, and because you were pressing spots that really meant so. What is reflexology, in your words?
So reflexology, it really is a natural healing art. It was, it's thousands of years old, but what it does is it allows your body to heal and restore from the very root cause of whatever's pushing at it. It puts your body back into a state known as homeostasis, which is perfect balance. Your body just, like I said, functioning exactly the way it was created and intended to. So what
do you do? Do you work on... You work on the feet? Is that all you work on in reflexology?
No. So depending on the reflexologist training, you're either going to have somebody work on your feet, your hands, or your ears. So I work on all three because I've had different training along the way. So when I'm working on somebody's feet, I'm going to do, especially for the first time I worked on you, I'm going to do an overall treatment. I want to see what I'm feeling and how you're responding to a treatment. I also... Lots of people, there's this misconception that when you have a reflexology treatment that you can tell what's wrong with somebody. I don't do that. I'm not going to guess. I'm not going to try and diagnose you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get you to fill out the health questionnaire, and as I'm working on you, I'm going to ask a lot of questions. And based on those questions and on what I'm feeling and how you're responding, it's going to paint a picture for me of what's going on in your body.
Okay, this one always gets me. You know, I used to work on the feet with reflexology. How do you get by people's smelly feet and awful, ugly-looking feet? And
it's a gift.
So it's like a nurse's aid.
Quite honestly, I think like everybody is, we're all designed for certain fields, and I always told everybody, if anybody knew me before reflexology, it would be a miracle that I would be working on strange people's feet, because feet and hands are not the nicest body parts to be working on. They can be smelly and you know, they're worn. We use them all the time. But so what you're going to do is when you're having a treatment, when somebody comes to me, I have wipes. I wipe their feet down, and sometimes if I need to, I have essential oils I'll use to help with the treatment. But another thing people do is they'll also have like a foot bath prior to a foot soak, especially with like the Thai foot massage. Having said all that, just like when you go for massage, reflexologists do appreciate people coming in cleansed and ready for a treatment.
Okay, like, what are you looking for? You're pressing on a foot, and they'll press on this one. You go, oh! And they'll say, oh, that is in your kidney area, and then they ask certain things about.
So, again, when somebody comes to me, they've already filled out a health questionnaire. I want to know, what am I helping you with today? What is your issue? What do you want to help with? So I'm going to work their entire feet. Like I said, I'm going to do an entire treatment, and then I'm going to discover what are the tender areas. So if somebody's coming to me and they have a hormonal imbalance, which is very common in our society today, just with the way we live, there are going to be certain things I'm going to expect. So if a woman comes to me, she's having major hormonal issues, cycles way off, all kinds of symptoms, I'm going to expect that all the endocrine glands and that are going to be tender on her. I'm going to probably expect the spleen to be certain SU points along the meridian lines are going to be tender. And so when I'm working with them, I just explain to them There's going to be tender areas on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being it doesn't hurt, 10 being I'm going to kick you if you don't stop touching me there. Let me know when you're getting to probably a 7 or an 8. The reason being, it can be intense. If you want your body to heal, you're going to have to be able to deal with a little bit of uncomfortableness. At the same time, I don't want to push you past that 9, 10, because what actually happens is your body will shift away from trying to heal to deal with pain management, and we don't want that. That's why when somebody's having surgery, I've been told afterwards they'll pump you full of pain medication so your body can just deal with healing whatever thing they just did to you and not have to deal with trying to stop the pain. So the same thing with the reflexology treatment. We're going to kind of push the limits a little bit, but just to where that person is comfortable.
So you watch their expressions?
I watch their expressions and I expect them to communicate with me.
And if it hurts too much,
if it's too much, then I'm going to ease off. There's other things I can do. So, but I also tell them it doesn't mean I'm going to stop. If it's tender for a reason, and I need to work that. And it's just quite honestly something with reflexology you're going to have to be willing to work through together. But like I said, I'm not going to that hurts and keep pushing you till you can't handle it. I'm going to help you get to the point where you can handle, ease off, do something else, come back and go. And what actually they'll find is during a treatment, quite often the first parts that were really intense, by the end of the treatment, they're not as bad. Or what they don't realize is by the end of treatment, I'm using more pressure and it's still at the same level of intensity for them.
Are they tired at the end of that session or the rest of that day? Or?
They can be. One of the things I hope to happen during the treatment is that somebody's body goes into the parasympathetic mode, which is the rest and repair mode. So while you're having a treatment, it's a lot of people actually comment on, this is really intense, but I don't understand why I always want to fall asleep on you. Well, it's because your body is basically just being slammed into that parasympathetic mode. It wants to rest and heal and restore at this very moment. So what they're going to find is they're going to be tired, they're going to calm down, they're going to probably get a little sleepy, and they also might get quite chilly because the blood is now going to shunt away from the arms and the legs to the internal organs. It's just part of what happens when you're going into the parasympathetic mode.
How did you get into reflexology?
So,
making a long story short.
Long story short is I was really sick. Since I was a child, I just constantly, one of those people, no matter what came along, I got it. I was diagnosed when I was 12 with 5 different types of arthritis. It just kept getting worse and worse. Went back to my doctor. He said could be something known as fibromyalgia, but he didn't know. I thought he was talking about tumors or something in my uterus, but he said no, it has to do with pain. Anyways, by the time I was in my early 20s, I had to self-medicate just to be able to work because the pain was so bad, I couldn't sleep. And of course, when somebody's feeling like that, when you're dealing with that type of pain, you also end up tending to get depressed and all that kind of stuff. So out of desperation, I went to go see Chin, who later became my teacher.
Okay, this is Terry Bell with Herb Doc, and we'll be right back in a few minutes with Mary-Clara, a reflexologist from Winnipeg. And you just look at the bottom of the screen and her phone number will be along there, and I'll tell you, if you try it once, you'll know that you want to be back to have it done again. I'll be right back. Remember, you can run away from the people you meet, but you can't run away from your feet. See you soon. Hello, my name is Terry Bell, and I'm going to tell you about a nice, wonderful product that I found. This product I took and I give it out to people just to get rid of it. And they would come back in a few months and said, I can't believe how good I digest food now. A lot of people with heartburn, you can get puffed, bloated, gastric, burping, farting, may lead to constipation or diarrhea. If you have a digestive problem, and what is in this little product, you're hearing about probiotics all the time. And they cost hundreds of dollars, 60, 70 bucks a month. Over the year, it's going to cost hundreds. This one is very cheap. For a month, about $17. Don't have to refrigerate it, just keep it in the bottle with a meal twice a day. You have heartburn and never quits, you need this product. In fact, we were brought up Mennonite, and if you ever let gas go in church, we had to sit in our own pew. So you know what I'm talking about. Gas is horrible. I even had a customer that came in that every time she walked, she would let gas go. After being on that product for a little while, she said, I can't believe the first month I seemed to get more, and then it disappeared. And what it does, it makes you digest all your products. There's a prebiotic in there, a probiotic, acidophilus, bifidophilus, and friendly bacteria. They're all in one. You don't have to spend a fortune to get well, just 2 capsules a day. See your Shote practitioner in your area. Look them up, Shote practitioner, or Google Terry Bell, and it'll tell you who's near you. You can pick those up. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a good meal tonight. Hello, this is Terry Bell back with another edition of Herb Doc. I'm with Mary-Clara today. She's a reflexologist. There's 4 reasons, maybe even 5, why a person gets sick. One is mechanically. Something could go out in their back, and that's where even reflexology, they can get your hip and everything, the pain leaving it. Another one is an excess of one. It's like a cow eating meat, wrong foods. Third one is a deficiency. Fourth one is emotional. Emotional can be as bad as physical. And the last one is spiritual. It doesn't mean that you're a Christian, born-again Christian. It means what you believe. So if you believe that if you kill somebody, you're going to get 70 virgins, don't believe that, because we cannot find them in Winnipeg, and half of them might be men. So back to Mary-Clara here, and I was talking, about, here's a big deal. You're a reflexologist. Do you work on your own?
I do. I have a private practice.
And a very good thing for somebody in a private practice, before we even go on, is to have a buzzer on them, a whistle. Because if somebody, because of the weirdos nowadays, people being attacked, and it looks like very innocent, they show up and they're going to be good and they could attack you. When you pull that whistle, it's such a shriek, hard on the ears, that all they say is when they hear that shriek, it's like a bell ringing when you break into a house. All you see is a pile of manure and a pair of shoes, because they're gone. Okay, and you want to keep yourself safe. But first of all, you're working on the feet. What are crystals, which people refer to all the time?
So when the body has an imbalance, it can get a buildup of either uric or lactic crystal acid, and it can build up in different reflexes on the feet. When that happens, it can be quite tender to work on those areas, but it's a necessity.
Does that mean that's what you're trying to break down when you do that?
Sometimes. So if somebody is coming to me with heel spurs or plantar fasciitis, they're going to have crystals on the plantar heel, and that's going to be really intense. And in that case, I'm going to have to break down those crystals, and then through the lymphatic system, your body will start flushing away that. In other cases, though, you don't feel crystals like that. You'll feel swelling, almost can feel like a pea under the skin, and some areas will just be really soft when they shouldn't. Other areas will be really tough when they shouldn't. There could just be an overall swelling that people are more used to looking at when they see a swollen area. So it's not always just crystals, but...
Do you only work on the bottom of the foot?
No, I work on, any reflexologist should work on every single part of the foot, the top, the bottom, and the
And even up the leg to the...
I do. Because I have training with the meridians in the body, I want to access the meridians and the Sioux points. So I will go from the knee down to the foot and from the shoulder into the hand. And I also do the ear for auricular reflexology. But again, not all reflexologists are trained that way.
You know, on the internet, well, they always do everything over. If it's healthy, they tell you don't do it. Don't take this, don't take that. But it's, can you work on a pregnant woman?
Absolutely, yeah. And I have. And
because some people say don't work on a pregnant woman.
I would say that if you want to pursue reflexology or any modality while you're pregnant, only do it with somebody who is confident in their ability to work on you. If somebody's insecure and worried that something negative will happen to you, you should not be letting them touch you.
True enough, because
yeah.
I've had 20% of reflexologists are good, don't get offended. 80% useless. Because I had them done, it's just like, like what is that? You could get that from walking to the bathroom. But you want somebody that finds with authority and finds something and tells you what you're working on. The other part, you're working on, can you work on cancer patients? Because sometimes their feet go numb from cancer treatments, like in that case.
Right, so they can get neuropathy. And yes, there's actually a study that I found done in the States where they were having somebody just have a foot rub and somebody actually having reflexology treatments. I forget the number, it was several hundred patients. And they found through the study that there's actually a huge benefit to cancer patients having reflexology treatments. It reduces all the negative side effects of chemotherapy, reduces their pain, helps them to sleep better, a number of those type of things. So if anybody is interested in reading that, they can go to my Facebook page, New Life Reflexology in Niverville, Manitoba, and they can scroll down through the newsfeed and they'll find that link and they can read that for themselves if they like.
Okay, is there some people you can't work on? Have you had that?
I don't. For me, no. Again, because I absolutely 100% believe in the body's ability to heal and restore. And because I work with the individual to meet them where they're at,
yes.
I'm not pushing them past any limits. And one thing people need to realize is I'm not coming there to try and fix you. If you have a particular issue, you're coming to me for help, that's what we're going to work on. And so when you're having that kind of a partnership working together, then there should be no reason why you can't work together.
Okay, so you're working on the feet, you're pressing. How long is usually a treatment?
My treatments last between 45 and 50 minutes long.
So that's 25 minutes a foot?
Approximately.
Yeah, and if some person is rough, that is good because you start to relax.
Yeah.
You have people fall asleep?
Yes, I do. And just to clarify, so it would approximately be 25 minutes a foot, but I rarely just stay on the feet because I am working the meridians, and if somebody comes to me with a particular area, I'm going to go to particular suit points in the hands and the legs. So that's how it goes.
Okay. So how much is the treatment?
Treatment with me currently is $60.
Yes.
And it varies again from practitioner to practitioner based on their...
$60. People would say that a lot, but what would you say if they said $60 was a lot?
I think that people need to start valuing their health more than they value things. And quite often we put our money in places that we're not reaping any benefit from at all. And most people can take a little money away from different areas like their Starbucks and their Tim Hortons and
smoking.
The gym membership that you never use. If you're paying for a gym membership and you never use it, you might as well relocate that money into a couple of reflexology treatments a month, and to help your body start healing and restoring from whatever's pushing at you. But if you're relatively healthy, it's to maintain that health. So. Okay,
and how often would you recommend somebody to take a? That
depends on the individual, because everybody is different and what their issue is. So, for example, I have a lot of clients that come to me, women who are perimenopausal. They've been having hormonal issues for most of their life. They didn't realize it because in our society they're told this is normal, which it's not. So in a situation like that, most of the time they need to have weekly treatments for several weeks. I will probably tell them, depending on the first treatment and everything that I learned from them, probably at least 6 or 8 weeks, once a week, and then we start lengthening it out. So when you lengthen out their treatment, if their symptoms come back before the next treatment, then you know that their body's not ready to go that long without a treatment. And that's how I educate my clients on how to notice when their body's healing and how well they're actually doing.
Okay. So. This is Mary-Clara, and she's a reflexologist. And with us today, thank you very much for being here. We'll be right back after this message from Herb Doc. Thank you. Hello, this is Terry from Herb Doc. I'd like to tell you, some days you don't even feel like yourself. This part of me seems like I'm not here. People make jokes like, quit while you're ahead. That's all you see here. And the person doesn't feel good, he feels empty inside. And I can tell you what it is. It's called essential minerals. There's a little bottle here, it's essential minerals. It's 10 times stronger than normal, so you only need 5-10 drops a day. Sometimes that'll last you a year, that bottle. Sometimes it'll last you 6 months, depends how hard you work on yourself. I found out about a thymus problem. And what is a thymus problem? When kids are born, their thymus is over 90. And you could stick a kid in an environment for 2 weeks, Stick him into that environment, and he can learn a language in less than 2 weeks because he has to learn that. Some people said it took a month. So what if we could do that? That's because the thymus is open and it's full. Thymus starts to shrink, and you test your thymus. When I test mine, it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 19, 18. It's at 18%. That's quite high. That's smarter than the average person. It's usually at 9. They have a hard time to learn. I start taking this product, and it come up from 9 to 18. I noticed as I'm driving along, I'm remembering phone numbers from all over the place. Phone numbers, old addresses, names, and everything else, just from getting your thymus up. Start taking that mineral, and you feel better and better and better. You only need a dropper full a day. You'll feel better and better. Then instantly, you will start feeling you're back to normal again. Oh, there, that feels better. I feel like I'm myself again. That part of me is missing. When you don't feel like yourself, you're missing minerals. Grab some essential minerals.
Hello, I'm Mary-Clara, and I'm going to be giving a short demonstration on my friend Yuri here on how a reflexology treatment looks and feels like. So first I'm going to just do a little warm-up exercise, kind of get the energy going and blood flowing to the foot. Whenever you're having a reflexology treatment, they should be working the entire foot on both feet. Today, because this is just a short little demonstration, I'm just going to be probably working on his right side. So on a scale of 1 to 10, you let me know where there's any tender areas, 1 being doesn't hurt, 10 being I'm going to kick you if you don't stop touching me there. And everybody's pain threshold is different, so you need to communicate that with me. Right. I don't want you to kind of go past like a 6 or a 7. It's just not beneficial for you. So this area here, yeah, you see you're a little tender. This is actually a kidney point on the foot. As far as meridians go, when it comes to reflexes, it's in your pelvis area. Now I'm just going to slide down through the chest, breast, thoracic area. It gets the lymphatic system moving and draining. Lymphatic's really important for your overall health. And how's the pressure feeling? It's okay. So one thing people find really interesting when you're having a reflexology treatment is most people don't get each of their toes individually massaged. So it's kind of a bit of a different experience. And what I'm doing is basically just thumb walking is what we call it, up and down the entire surface of the toe. In each of your feet, there's over 7,200 nerves, and they correlate to all the parts, glands, and organs of your body. Yeah. So one of the things that happens is your body's going to go into the parasympathetic mode normally during a treatment, which is the rest and repair mode. And pressure is still okay. The base of the toe correlates to all the neck reflexes. All the toes actually are kind of like your head and your neck. And all along here, this is the shoulder ridge. So for your shoulder, and the top of the toe is the brain. So we want to make sure we get that. So as I'm working on him, I'm asking just a few questions because I could feel things right along his neck reflex on this toe, and on this one there's a little bit of swelling, but he says it's okay, so I'm just going to continue working on. If it was really intense, I would still work the area, but I would decrease my pressure and be a little more gentle until his body is healing and I can go back to regular pressure and he can handle that. Okay, so I've gotten all of his head and neck. I'm going to do his shoulder and kind of go into his torso. This is the chest and the heart, the bronchioles, sorry. esophagus, and this area here is the lungs. Are you a smoker? Quite often when somebody is a smoker, it will be really congested in here and tender. Or if they're asthmatic, you will feel it in here. So. The liver is on the right foot because it's on the right side of the body. Tender in there at all?
A little bit.
Okay. There's a little bit of congestion at the bottom part of his liver here. And when we're coming up here, this is the large intestine. And it comes right across both of the feet and comes back down, just like it does in the body. If somebody has digestive issues and they have issues with constipation, it will usually be in one of the flexures on the feet here. And I will feel it because it'll be really thick and hard and marbly underneath there instead of just kind of like a soft feel that you would expect when you're touching muscle. So this is basically what you could expect when you're having a reflexology treatment. You should expect the practitioner to communicate back and forth like I was with him, making sure that the pressure's okay and asking a lot of questions so that they can help you reach your health goal.
Saying goodnight from Herb Doc, this is Terry Bell, and we'll see you again next week. Thank you.